Your post went viral. Now Elon Musk is looking for you. You didn't even mean for the post to go viral. It wasn't supposed to be anything more than a late-night scramble of annoyance and curiosity, a half-sarcastic comment typed in the dim light of your bedroom, where the only sounds were the hum of your computer fan and the restless tapping of your own fingers. You'd been scrolling through endless updates, half asleep, when the idea struck you. Not even an idea, really. Just a passing thought you would have forgotten if you hadn't impulsively tweeted it. The platform felt like a void back then, one that swallowed your thoughts whole and returned nothing. You expected 3 likes at most, maybe one pity retweet from a bot. But instead of vanishing into the digital abyss, your words detonated. You woke up the next morning to your phone vibrating relentlessly beside your pillow, its battery half drained from notifications. For a moment, you thought it was an alarm you'd forgotten to turn off. But the vibration didn't stop, it kept going in sharp, angry bursts, the kind that only happens when something is profoundly wrong or profoundly viral. You sat up, blinking through the haze, and grabbed the device. The lock screen was a wall of alerts, mentions, retweets, quote tweets, direct messages. At first, you thought you were still dreaming, trapped in some surreal mix of panic and excitement. But the numbers didn't vanish when you rubbed your eyes, they only piled higher. At the top of the notifications was the tweet, the stupid, off-the-cuff joke that had somehow punched through the algorithmic noise and lodged itself in the global consciousness overnight. You tapped it open with a sinking feeling. There it was, all 15 words of it, staring back like an accusation. Even as you reread it, your mind scrambled to understand what had triggered such a reaction. Did it tap into some cultural moment? Did someone big retweet it? Did you accidentally say something profound? The replies were a chaotic mess, people praising you, arguing with you, misunderstanding you, or demanding explanations. You scrolled through them, feeling that strange mix of flattery and nausea that comes from too much attention hitting all at once. Then you saw it, a verification badge, blue and unmistakable, attached to a name that sent a small electrical shock through your chest. Elon Musk. He had quote tweeted you. Not only that, but he'd written something cryptic, the kind of cryptic Musk reply that inevitably ignites the internet like kerosene on dry tinder. You clicked on it, dread pooling in your stomach even before the page loaded. His quote read, "Interesting. Where is this person? Does anyone know them?" Your brain stalled. Froze. Rebooted. You stared at those words, trying to interpret them through the fog of adrenaline. Was he joking? Was it serious? Was it playful, threatening, ironic? The internet certainly wasn't waiting to find out. In your mentions, people were tagging friends, journalists, conspiracy theorists, meme accounts. They were digging through your old tweets, your old photos, your low-resolution profile picture, piecing together who you were as if your identity were a puzzle the world had suddenly become obsessed with solving. And your follower count, oh God, your follower count was skyrocketing. Every time you refreshed the page, another 1,000 people had appeared. By the time you got out of bed, tens of thousands had joined. Your phone buzzed in a constant, angry rattle against your palm. You turned off notifications entirely, but even then, you could feel the phantom buzzing under your skin. It wasn't long before people started messaging you directly. Journalists slid into your DMs with formal greetings and professional inquiries, as though you were some figure of national importance. Influencers asked for collaborations. Trolls hurled insults based on wildly inaccurate interpretations of your tweet. One person claimed you were the spokesperson for an underground political movement. Another insisted you were part of a secret project funded by Musk himself. Conspiracy threads unfurled with dizzying speed, weaving your name into fabrications that felt utterly detached from your own life. You hadn't done anything. You hadn't asked for any of it. But the internet didn't care who you were, it cared who it wanted you to be. It didn't stop there. By noon, your boss emailed you. Not a friendly check-in, but a formal request for a call. Apparently, someone had emailed your workplace asking for verification of your identity, whatever that meant. You spent your lunch break explaining the situation over video call, your boss staring at you through the screen with that peculiar blend of disappointment and confusion reserved for employees who accidentally ignite global media storms. You promised you hadn't meant to cause trouble, swore it would blow over soon, vowed to delete the tweet. They told you deleting it would only make things worse. You weren't sure if they were right, but at that point, the tweet had taken on a life of its own. Deleting it felt like trying to extinguish a forest fire with a spray bottle. Then, early afternoon, the second blow hit, your name began trending globally. Not your tweet, your name. You clicked the trend with the reluctant curiosity of someone rubbernecking at a car crash. The top posts made your stomach twist. Images of your old profile picture, screenshots of replies from years ago, out-of-context quotes, jokes written about you, theories spun about you, and above all, people tagging Elon Musk, asking what he knew about you, whether he'd found you yet, whether you were the one. The comments only grew more chaotic as the hours passed. People demanded Musk interview you on Spaces. Others insisted you must be collaborating with him on some secret project. Still others claimed you were a plant from a rival tech company trying to provoke him. You wanted to scream, to crawl back into bed and pretend none of it was happening. But the internet had already sunk its claws into your life, dragging it into the public arena where privacy dissolved like sugar in water. Then came the message. You didn't believe it at first. It arrived as a DM from an account that looked official enough, blue badge, large following, verified. It simply said, Elon would like to speak with you. Are you available for a brief call? Your pulse stuttered in your ears. For a moment, you considered it a fake, an elaborate prank by someone with too much time and malicious creativity. But the account linked back to an actual SpaceX communications role. The bio matched. The follower list looked legitimate. You hovered over the screen, uncertain. You didn't respond immediately. Instead, you paced your room, trying to process the absurdity. You were just a regular person, someone who posted memes and mediocre jokes, whose online footprint was mostly ignored. And now you were being told that Elon Musk, actual Elon Musk, wanted to speak with you because of a stray tweet that wasn't even meant to be taken seriously. Eventually, After 15 minutes of dread and curiosity battling in your chest, you typed back, "Is this real?" The reply came almost instantly, "Yes." Elon saw your post. He'd like to ask you a few questions. You stared at the screen. The words felt unreal, like something scripted for a satire show. But there they were, plain and unambiguous. You typed a cautious yes, adding that you weren't sure what he wanted to talk about. The person said they'd send a call link shortly. Then, all at once, the weight of the situation crashed down. Your room felt too small. Your breathing too loud, your hands too shaky. You moved around aimlessly, like a trapped animal pacing its enclosure. You wondered what he wanted. Was he upset? Amused? Interested? Suspicious? You retraced every moment of the previous night, trying to remember the exact wording of the tweet, the tone, the implication. You reread it over and over, trying to see it through someone else's eyes, to understand what had captured the world's attention, and his. The call link arrived. Your hand hovered over it. You considered ignoring it, throwing your phone across the room, pretending none of this was happening. But curiosity won. You inhaled deeply, tapped the link, and waited as the screen shifted. A moment later, his face appeared. For a heartbeat, the world seemed to pause. The connection was sharp enough that you could see the faint reflections of monitors in his eyes. He was sitting in what looked like an office, stark, modern, cluttered in that way only geniuses or very tired people manage. He blinked once, twice, studying you on his screen like a specimen under an unfamiliar microscope. "Ah," he said, "there you are." You froze. Hearing his voice made everything more surreal. Elon Musk was looking at you as though you were someone significant. You felt absurdly aware of your own breathing. "Hi," you managed, your voice embarrassingly small. He didn't waste time on small talk. "I saw your post," he continued, leaning back in his chair. "It's interesting. You weren't sure if that was good or bad." "It was a joke," you said quickly, immediately regretting how defensive it sounded. "I know," he said, waving a hand. "Most things that go viral are jokes, but sometimes they reveal something useful." You frowned. "Useful how?" He steepled his fingers. "You said something that hit a nerve. People reacted strongly. That means it resonated. It exposes a pattern I've been thinking about." You had no idea what that meant. The tweet wasn't even that deep. You weren't sure if he genuinely believed what he was saying or if he just had a knack for projecting meaning onto noise. His expression didn't give anything away. "I want to ask you a question," he said. "Where did that idea come from?" You swallowed. "Honestly, just insomnia and a bit of frustration. It wasn't planned." He nodded slowly, studying you. His gaze felt too analytical, too calculating, like he was evaluating variables you didn't know you had. You couldn't tell if he was satisfied or disappointed. "You know," he said, "the internet is a strange organism. Sometimes the most random contributions expose something hidden in the collective mindset. Your post did that." You tried to understand what he was implying, but your thoughts kept tangling. People are overreacting, you said. It's just a tweet. That's not how the internet works anymore, he replied. Before you could respond, he continued, you're trending. Millions of people are paying attention to you. That means something. And I don't ignore things that millions of people point at. There was a weight to his words that made your stomach twist. So, he said, I want to know more about you. The sentence hung in the air like a threat, like an opportunity, like a puzzle. You stared at him. Why? You whispered. Because I look for patterns, he said. And you're an anomaly, a random variable that suddenly spiked. I want to understand what caused the spike. I didn't do anything special. Most people doing something special don't know they're doing it, he said. Sometimes they're just being themselves. Sometimes they're saying something no one realized they needed to hear. You wanted to argue, to insist he was reading too much into this, but arguing with him felt useless. Musk was one of those people who built universes out of whims. You could feel yourself becoming part of one, whether you wanted to or not. There was a pause, a strange silence filled with digital tension. Then he asked the question that made your entire stomach drop, would you be willing to meet in person? The audio glitched for half a second, your connection, not his. For a moment, you stared at him, certain you'd misheard. But he was waiting, his expression maddeningly neutral, like he'd asked something perfectly ordinary. Meet, you repeated. Why? You asked again. I like meeting people who create unexpected reactions, he said. And I have questions for you that are easier to ask face to face. Your thoughts scrambled. This is insane. He shrugged. Most worthwhile things are. But you don't even know me. That's why I want to meet, he said. Your heart thudded against your ribs. Your hands trembled slightly enough that you moved one under the desk, hoping the camera wouldn't catch it. Where would this hypothetical meeting even happen? Wherever is comfortable for you, he said. You can choose the city, the location, public or private. I'm flexible. You were certain you must be dreaming. There was no version of reality where you chose the location for a meeting with Elon Musk. You don't have to decide now, he said. Take some time, but not too much. The longer you wait, the more the internet will fill the space for you. You felt laden. You had no idea what "some time" meant in this context, hours? Days? You imagined trying to sleep tonight with this decision hovering over you like a blade. What happens if I say no? You asked quietly. You won't, he said. There was no arrogance in his tone, just an unsettling confidence, as if he'd already run statistical models on your behavior and calculated the outcome. He glanced at something off-screen, then back at you. I have to go, he said. But think about it. And keep your phone on. You opened your mouth to respond, but the call ended before you could speak. His image disappeared, replaced by your own stunned reflection. You sat there staring at yourself, waiting for your brain to catch up. But instead of settling, everything only became more unreal. Your phone buzzed. One new notification, a text from an unknown number. Good talking to you. You dropped the phone onto your desk. Your breath caught somewhere between a laugh and a panic attack. That was when you noticed something else. Your follower count, which had been climbing all morning, was now exploding. You refreshed the page once, then again, then again. Within minutes, you had more followers than you'd had views on anything in your entire life. And the comments had changed. They weren't just reacting to your original tweet anymore, they were reacting to the fact that Elon Musk had just talked to you. Rumors spread like wildfire. Someone claimed you were developing something with him. Someone else insisted you were the next big thing. A conspiracy thread account posted a zoomed-in photo of your face, circled as if it contained hidden meaning. A journalist had already tweeted that sources confirmed Elon Musk was in communication with you. You felt the world spinning out of your control. You wanted to shut your laptop, silence your phone, erase yourself from every screen in existence. Instead, you stood up, legs unsteady, and walked to your window. Outside, people passed by in their normal lives, walking dogs, carrying groceries, scrolling through their phones. None of them knew you. None of them were thinking about you. It should have been comforting, but it wasn't. Because your phone buzzed again. And this time, the message wasn't from the unknown number. It was from a friend. You're trending everywhere. Call me ASAP. Something weird is happening. The message was followed by a link. You clicked it. A video, a blurry shot captured by someone in a car, panning across a quiet street, your street. The camera zoomed in slowly, and there, parked directly across from your building, was a sleek black SUV with tinted windows. The caption read, "Is this them watching the tweet person?" Your breath caught. You didn't recognize the car. You peered out the window again, and this time you saw it exactly where the video had shown it. The SUV, motionless, engine running, facing your apartment, waiting. Your phone buzzed one more time. This time, the message was short, just 2 words, "Don't panic." You didn't know who sent it, and you didn't know if it was meant to reassure you, or warn you. Your heart hammered so hard you thought it might shatter your ribs. The words, "Don't panic," glowed on your screen like a bad joke, a warning, or a promise. You couldn't tell. Your mind raced, leaping from one worst-case scenario to another. Was this someone connected to Musk? Was it someone dangerous? Was it a hoax? The SUV hadn't moved. Its dark windows reflected the faint glow of streetlights, but nothing betrayed who or what was inside. You considered calling the police, but something in you hesitated. What would you even say? "There's a mysterious black SUV parked outside my house because Elon Musk saw my tweet." The sentence sounded insane. Even as you thought it, you shoved your phone into your pocket and stepped back from the window, pacing in circles. Minutes passed. The SUV didn't move. The hum of its engine was steady, unyielding, like a low-frequency warning. You imagined yourself as a character in some bizarre social experiment, your life an uncontrolled variable in a system designed by people whose influence stretched farther than you could comprehend. Then your phone buzzed again. A new notification. A DM from the same unknown number. The one signed D. You opened it with trembling fingers. It said 3 words, "Come outside now." Your chest tightened. Every rational part of you screamed no. Every irrational, adrenaline-fueled part screamed yes. You thought about your apartment, the streets, your life ending in seconds if you made a wrong move. But then another thought hit. Maybe this was what he meant when he said you could step into the attention, shape it instead of letting it shape you. Maybe this was the threshold. Maybe crossing it, or refusing it, was exactly what would determine what came next. You opened the front door. Night air hit you, cool and sharp, carrying the faint scent of rain from earlier that afternoon. The street was empty, except for the SUV. It sat there like a shadow made solid, engine idling, black paint gleaming faintly in the streetlights. You stepped forward, hesitant, and the doors clicked open almost silently. A figure emerged, familiar and impossible. Not a bodyguard, not a stranger. Him. Elon Musk in person, looking just like he had on your screen, calm, focused, like someone who walked through chaos every day without flinching. He nodded slightly, as if this meeting had been inevitable for years, as if your late-night joke had been the only missing piece in his day. "Didn't think I'd see you like this," he said, his voice casual but loaded with something unspoken. "Huh, you managed." He chuckled softly. "I know it's a lot. Trust me, I didn't plan the viral part either, but now that we're here, we can talk. Talk about you, about why your post resonated, about what people are missing, about possibilities." He gestured toward the car, toward the empty street, toward the city sprawled under the night sky. "You've been given a spotlight, and that's terrifying. But what if you could use it? What if the attention didn't destroy you, but amplified something meaningful, something you actually care about?" You blinked. "I don't know if I want that." "Most people don't," he said. "But most people also don't get the choice. You have it right now." You looked at him, looked at the street, looked at the SUV. The city was silent, but your life had suddenly become a storm. You realized something: whatever you chose now, step outside, step in, run, hide, it would define more than just tonight. It would define everything that came after. For a long moment, you did nothing. Then slowly, deliberately, you stepped toward the SUV. Elon didn't say anything. He just waited, not impatiently, not threateningly, simply waited. And as you climbed into the vehicle, the door closing softly behind you, you felt the surreal, impossible truth settle over your chest. Your life had been ordinary until one tweet, one fleeting idea, one ACC.